Hey guys and girls, so a real quick video on how to install or how to paint a ceiling. So you can see I've already gone around and I've cut in the perimeter, and hopefully we're only going to put in one coat. Hopefully the finish is not going to bleed through into the primer. The primer itself is very close to the ceiling white. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing two coats. You can see that I've gone ahead and I've done a little bit of touch up where I missed with the primer. I like using a light. This is just a halogen light that I've got pointed up at the ceiling. It helps to show your coverage, and hopefully that way you won't miss any areas, because sometimes you get shadows and different things happening that you think you've painted everything and you haven't. So I like to paint the ceiling first, because that way it's a little easier, at least for me, to cut in the wall color and then paint the walls. I find if I'm trying to do it in the opposite order, there's more of a chance that I'm gonna roll a little bit too far, that roller hits the wall. This is just the way that I like to do it. Typically paint spatters down onto walls from the ceiling. It's hard to see obviously because it's white, but you will get paint spatter from the ceiling onto the walls. So again, that's just the way that I like to do it. So I'll show you kind of how I do things. So what I like to start with is a sanding pole, and this is 220 grit, and this is the mesh. I find that it doesn't clog up nearly as fast. It tends to last longer. I find that it's a little bit more consistent too, the grit that's on it. So basically I just go ahead, just go around, very light. You don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on there. You don't want to go through the primer, although this primer here is quite dense, and I doubt that I would, but you can see on here just from that little bit of movement that, that we've actually taken off just a little bit of imperfections. Sorry, this friggin' plastic is in the way. So it'll take out the imperfections if there's anything in the roller, a little fluff that gets onto the to the paint finish. It'll just take that off, make for a really good finish. So then I go around. I like these little paint cups. You can get them at the dollar store. They're really nice. You put your hand in there. Makes it real easy to hold your paint and cut in. So basically I'll go and I'll cut the ceiling, and then I'll just wipe off that edge, because sometimes you get a little bit of drip that'll come down. So you want to just take care of that, because then you're going to see that in your finished paint. You don't want to see that. So now we're going to start rolling this out. I like to do small areas at a time. The roller hasn't been loaded up quite yet. It's getting there. And this ceiling paint, it tends to dry pretty fast, so it'll dry quick in some areas. It'll kind of take a little bit longer in others, so it'll almost look like you've missed some spots when in fact you haven't. I like to overlap, obviously. What I'll do sometimes is just roll it on the opposite direction. It takes a little bit longer, but hopefully this means that I get total coverage. I won't have to touch it up or do a second coat. And then I like to roll nice and close do my cut-in line. And that's how I paint the ceiling. This seems to work well for me. You guys might have some other methods that work well for you, but I find this works well for me. So if you guys like the video, give me a thumbs up. Didn't like it, thumbs down. Tell me why down in the comments. Questions down in the comments area. Hit that subscribe button. Until the next video, take her easy.